Hello, fans. Beautiful and handsome viewers. Welcome to my platform, Timo Starboy Reality Talk TV. I greet you at your location time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And for those people who are already sleeping, happy Saturday, last Saturday of the April. So I hope everything is going good over there. So I think the Carolina, Laing, Catriona Laing, as she has spoken, that is a woman, a strong woman. So she spoke about Inec, their wrongdoing. About the election that went down on February 25th, 2023. So she spoke a lot. She talked about how they make the wuru, how they make the wuru conjunctively, how they collide with all these bad guys on the ground, all these are bad politicians. So my people, please don't allow criminal to be your president. Don't allow another criminal. Buhari has done his own. Another one is want to enter. So we shouldn't open our eyes and let all these bad bugs to enter it. So that is my own taking for this matter. Please, we should not allow all these rogues, all these armed robbers to take our presidential seat. You know the consequences. You know what is going to happen. You know the result. So especially youth, wake up and protest. Protest as you can. Please don't allow them. Enough is enough. So anyway, let me play you fella to remind you, because this is evergreen. The music is evergreen. It will never die. Even the messenger have died, but the message never die. So let me play it, and from there we move on to our today's topic. So here we go. Let's roll it. You see, Baba 70. Baba 70.
Listen to me as Africans.
Yeah, listen well.
Africans,
listen for good.
Listen to me with open mind. Suffer for wealth, enjoy for heaven. Suffer for wealth, enjoy for heaven. Christians go the yab, in spiritual heaviness. Muslims go the call.
Alaruwa Kuba.
Open your eye everywhere. Archbishop na maybe.
Yoko na enjoyment, Imamu na gbaladun.
Archbishop na maybe.
Ileke na enjoyment, Imamu na gbaladun. Banana Bishop. They enjoy. They enjoy.
Christianity and Islam, they are only artificial religions. Artificial
religion.
And Christianity is spread all over Africa. We know is to exploit the people. All Christians think like white, like European, like English and Americans, and all Muslims.
Listen to the message Arabs. Very well, my people.
So they just diverting the African minds from their roots. That's all, And Africans must know. You see, they must have the original one.
Yeah.
And somebody must spread the knowledge of this. And I think I have the knowledge.
The man is speaking. Buhari, they don't finish the country. Babangida
The whole thing is that
Abacha.
this world is a world of higher forces.
All these people
must realize it.
They are foreigners
you do it
to the
by
land.
yourself in your home, by knowledge of your culture, or your background of your family or your people. It's not through Christianity or Muslim. They are deceiving the people.
When Fela began to preach a return to traditional religion, it was in search of a deeper African identity. It was a cultural provocation, an intellectual move. But in the spring of 1981, the spirits really visited Fela's house. Since this revelation, a dialogue with the other world takes place every day. At the shrine, around 2 in the morning, right in the middle of the show, Fela suddenly asks for silence and performs a rite on behalf of the main Yoruba spirits, Shango, Ogun, Ifa. The same great spirits that are found in America, in Voodoo, in Afro-Cuban and Brazilian cults. On the altar, there are also the portraits of Malcolm X, of Nkrumah, the hero of African independence, and also that of Fela's own mother, who since her death has become the spirit of rain.
Music is a spiritual thing. You don't play with music. If you play with music, you will die young. You see, because when the higher forces give you a gift of music, musicianship, it must be well used for the good of humanity. If you use it for your own self by deceiving people or doing this, you will die young. You see. And I've told people this many times. So I'm going to prove them wrong and prove myself right. Because now I'm 44, I'm getting younger. Because I'm doing it right.
Exactly.
I can play music for 10 hours. I'm never tired. I'm getting younger because the spiritual life of music that I've led rightly is helping me now.
Sit down, not this time. Too many people they stand now because I don't apologize for those who they stand here. Not vex. Yeah. Whether you like or you know like, after you hear this to talk, after you like or you know like, after you hear this to talk, if you like it good, if you don't like it hang, if you like it good, if you don't like you hang, if you hang you go die, you die for nothing, you go carry your body go police station, you die wrongfully,
Another one. Now, serious matter, my people, my beautiful people. This is serious matter. We need to deal with.
In the African community, there's a special women. They call them Iyalaji. It means women who have special powers to see.
Yeah.
To see the future. You know, to see front and back.
Exactly.
You know, these are the special women. And important people always have them around, you know, in the African home. Like I have my own Iyalaji in my house, you know, who advises me what to do.
So guys, we will come back to this fella music. So let's play the Catriona Laing speech against Inec officers. Their wrongdoing on election day. So let's play it, and I'm gonna give you some round of videos, you know, for you to listen to, so that we know where we stay. Okay, this is 1 minute 34 seconds, and then we play another video.
Like a negative tool, but the whole point of that is deterrence.
Okay, let me start from the beginning.
And those who incite violence or indeed act violently could be subject to a visa ban to our country, or we have other instruments including our human rights legislation. So I can confirm we're gathering information at the moment. We obviously don't speak about individuals, and we will consider whether we want to exercise those visa bans. So that is one of the tools. That's a negative tool, but the whole point of that is deterrence, to ensure that people reflect before they act in that way, because elections going well are so important for Nigeria. What didn't work well, and was a big disappointment to all of us, and most importantly to Nigerians, was what Inec had raised expectations, that the results were being tabled at the local polling unit, they would be automatically visible to all of us, actually, to be able to track the results in real time, so transparently. Clearly the system failed, and there's no question. That was a massive disappointment. It also meant that it created space for people to be concerned that somebody's interfering with the system, somebody's hacked into the system. And I think one of the problems was that Inec didn't communicate quickly enough what the challenges were. And we spoke to the Inec chair about this, and he accepted that point, that they should have been able to communicate soon. But it was a failure, and I think it's been a big setback to Inec's credibility, frankly, and therefore people's confidence.
Very setback.
Other sort of challenges.
Another story.
Okay, so this is another story. Another story you hear is Nnamdi Kanu. They put more charges on him, and we don't know why. Instead of them to free the man, to let the man have his freedom, they are still putting more charges. I don't know where they will go from here. So let's listen to
Another story.
What is going on?
The Supreme Court on Thursday granted leave to the federal government to bring 9 new grounds of appeal against the release of the leader of the indigenous peoples of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. The ruling was given by a 5-member panel. The Apex Court also granted leave to the federal government to include these 9 new grounds as part of its amended notice of appeal dated 28th October 2022. During the resumed hearing, Michael Zokome, counsel to Nnamdi Kanu, informed the court of his motion seeking for bail for his client and another seeking for his transfer to the Kuje Correctional Facility to get proper medical attention, citing his failing health in the custody of the Department of State Services.
Everything has all the delays, both at the Federal High Court, the Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court, have always been actuated and activated and propelled and instigated by the federal government, because they never wanted Nnamdi Kanu to be tried. They never wanted the appeals to be heard. They are satisfied with simply keeping Nnamdi Kanu perpetually in the gulag. That's what they have been doing. And to buttress what I'm saying, only last night, yesterday, one at 2:39 p.m. and last night at 6:25 p.m. They served us further documents, further court processes, which have again necessitating us today taking an adjournment. But in order not to fall into their cheap trap and to escape their cheap entrampment, what we have done today is to say all those phony motions you have been filing, we want extension of time.
Well, in another development, the indigenous peoples of Biafra have criticized President Muhammadu Buhari over his recent comments on the remission, asking Nigerians to forgive him in any way he has wronged them, while reacting to the statement issued on Wednesday. Emma Powerful, the spokesperson for IPOB, says Buhari's sins are unforgivable. The indigenous group of Biafra alleged that many IPOB members have been killed under Buhari's administration, while over 2,523 innocent citizens in the southeast have been illegally detained, further asking the president to release the leader of their group, Nnamdi Kanu. Well, I mean, this is the situation right now with Nnamdi Kanu, Rufai. I mean, I thought that, what can we say about detention and the DSS?
Okay, 2 parts to it. Number 1, I do not support people inciting violence in the country. But when you go back and look at all of this agitation, it starts by the marginalization of the Igbos. And we can't deny that fact. We had another taste of it during the elections in Lagos. But I do not support Nnamdi Kanu, while he was away, while John Bale, inciting violence. But secondly, for you to build a country, there must be rule of law. The court, the appeal court, has said, let this man be. But you violated the appeal court. And when President Buhari says, forgive me all my sins, but he's violated the courts.
Yeah.
Like somebody asked this morning, at least he must be able to even tell us what are his sins in the first place before he tells us to forgive him. One of them will be violating court order. Remember how even the Supreme Court kicked against him.
Absolutely.
They violated court order. Now the federal government has detained him because they want to press more charges. Yes, you want to press more charges, but at least did you respect the same courts that you're going to press more charges for?
It won't be correct to say the president violated the courts. The court ruled in October 2022 that the terrorism charge should be struck out, that also the extradition was illegal. But what the federal government did was that the federal government went straight to the Court of Appeal, to the Supreme Court, where they filed a stay of execution and also filed an application to amend the charges. So the federal government followed the process. But this is a very sensitive matter. It's also very political.
Absolutely.
Now that the matter is before the Supreme Court, which is the apex court, the latest development is that, the amended charges will now be allowed by the court.
Yes.
However, Michael Zekome, SAN, is insisting that his client should be granted bail, and that he should also be moved from where he is to the Kuje Correctional Facility, where he can get better care.
The health.
Those are the two issues.
Yeah, those are the issues. Correct. Well, thank you all for your great analysis of what's trending, and you all have a great weekend.
Yeah.
Another one. We send this one. This one is okay. 2 persons stop. You can stop Bola Tinubu. Let's see how it comes.
Well, like this, finally, you don't boast.
Not you. Hold on.
Who believes strongly
Okay.
that the 2023 presidential election petition should be concluded before the handover date of May 29. This date approaches with a lot of concerns in our heart, and it leaves people like us wondering, what are the possible things that can be done to stop the inauguration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC on May 29th? What can be done to stop him? Who can stop him? Particularly considering the fact that Peter Obi has a very, very strong case at the Elections Petitions Tribunal to stop him. And many people perceive that if Tinubu is sworn in on May 29th, then he would probably have the reins of power to influence the decision of the tribunal. That's what many people believe. And that's why it becomes increasingly important to consider, can Tinubu's inauguration be stopped? If yes, by who? Right now, the petition of Peter Obi is at the tribunal. And because the case is very strong, people are pushing for the fact that the tribunal should speed up action so that they can conclude before the May 29th.
Okay.
2023 is around the corner. And for many of us, like Ulisa Bakoba, who believe strongly that the 2023 presidential election petition should be concluded before the handover date of May 29. This date approaches with a lot of concerns in our heart. And it leaves people like us wondering, what are the possible things that can be done to stop the inauguration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC on May 29th? What can be done to stop him? Who can stop him? Particularly considering the fact that Peter Obi has a very, very strong case at the Elections Petitions Tribunal to stop him. And many people perceive that if Tinubu is sworn in on May 29th, then he will probably have the reins of power to influence the decision of the tribunal. That's what many people believe. And that's why it becomes increasingly important to consider, can Tinubu's inauguration be stopped? If yes, by who? Right now, the petition of Peter Obi is at the tribunal. And because the case is very strong, people are pushing for the fact that the tribunal should speed up action so that they can conclude before the May 29th inauguration date or the May 29th handover date in Nigeria. Now, let's look at some scenarios. Do you think that the Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal can finish the case before May 29th? It doesn't look like that. It's not likely, because right now we're just about 30 days to May 29th, and the Presidential Elections Petitions Court is just at the pre-hearing stage. Peter Obi submitted his response to the preliminary objections of Tinubu and Inec just 2 days ago, and that gives the Presidential Tribunal 14 days to carry out its pre-hearing. Pre-hearing is where things are finalized, dates are fixed for the main hearing proper. It's also this pre-hearing period that the judges will be appointed. We heard yesterday or day before yesterday that the judges, the 5-man judges for the presidential elections petitions have been chosen. And so they will now decide the date during this pre-hearing period. And of course, we're told that the president of the appeal court, who happens to be a woman, is the head of that presidential elections petitions tribunal or petitions court, PEPC, I like to call it. All of this pre-hearing stage is ongoing, but how likely is it that the petitions tribunal, the elections petitions tribunal, will conclude before May 29th? It is highly unlikely, like I said, because 14 days from now will just be like the middle or just about 10th to 14th or 10th to 15th of May. And that leaves about 2 weeks to May 29th, which means that all of the 4 grounds on which Peter Obi is contesting the outcome of the February 25, 2023 elections, all the 4 grounds have to be concluded in 2 weeks. And that is closer to impossible than being practicable. Now, let's even assume for the sake of argument that the petitions are concluded in that 2 weeks and a judgment is made in favor of Peter Obi. That is not the end of the matter. That still cannot stop the inauguration of May 29, the inauguration of the swearing in of Tinubu as president of Nigeria. It will stop it because if a verdict is given by the tribunal, APC and Tinubu still have the chance to appeal. And that is another 30 days to the appeal court. Now from the appeal court, once a decision is also reached and it's not in favor of Tinubu and the APC, they still have a chance to appeal to the Supreme Court, which will take another 30 days. So assuming that the elections petitions tribunal is able to finish their case before May 29th, the appeal process will still extend it for at least another 2 months, which defeats the purpose of having the tribunal as a potential avenue to stop the inauguration of Tinubu as president of Nigeria. Now, if the tribunal cannot stop Tinubu being sworn in as president of Nigeria, what or who can stop the inauguration of Tinubu? Because right now, many of the supporters, many well-meaning Nigerians are not too happy. I am not too happy that despite the very strong case that Peter Obi has, Tinubu is still going to be sworn in. I'm not too happy. So, what can we do? Who do we look up to? There are only 2 persons that can stop the inauguration of Tinubu. Only 2 persons. There are prophecies right now. Prophecies from men of God that say that Tinubu will not be sworn in. The prophecy.
Tony Eserike, you are welcome to the platform, my brother. Long time ago.
Of many Nigerians are hanging.
Long time no say.
Not swearing in Tinubu on May 29th is concerned. If that fails, because many prophecies seem to have failed concerning this 2023 election, if that prophecy fails,
TK, you are welcome to the platform, my brother, from another mother.
Protest to stop the inauguration of Tinubu on May 29th. Can the protest stop it? Any protest to stop the inauguration will be read very quickly by the government officials or the government forces as treason.
Thank you.
Because it will seem to be contrary to the Constitution of Nigeria, which prescribes the procedure for inauguration. Yes, protests can be made on the rigging that took place during the February 25, 2023 elections, but a protest to stop the inauguration, particularly some are talking about protests at Eagle Square to stop it, that the inauguration will not hold. I do not think that any protest can stop it from holding, except that such protesters will have some serious ammunition. And of course, if they do have such serious ammunition, then we're talking about another civil war, because the government forces will simply not take it lying down. And personally, I don't think I want us to go through another civil war. There are options through which we can achieve our goals, and violent protests definitely is not one of them. So violent protests cannot stop the inauguration of Tinubu, let's be honest. only 2 persons can stop the inauguration of Tinubu right now. Interim government cannot happen without those 2 persons. No protest, no amount of cost, no speech that is made by anybody can bring about interim government, because only 2 persons can bring about interim government, and those are the 2 persons that can stop Tinubu's inauguration. Number 1 is God Almighty. God Almighty. Only God can stop Tinubu's inauguration right now. Only God. And number 2 is President Muhammadu Buhari. The God factor, we can only hope. But as far as President Muhammadu Buhari is concerned, I don't think his body language suggests that he is going to arrest Tinubu on the morning of the inauguration, as the prophecies suggest. Which means that right now, we're probably stuck with the Tinubu inauguration, which makes me very, very unhappy and very, very sad. So you tell me, what can stop the inauguration of Tinubu?
And you know now, well, this finally, and you know now, it's on Jamaica,
So
the 2 factions trading accusations. The faction led by Julius Aburi, who continues to maintain that he is chairman despite a court order which ordered his suspension, has accused the Lamidi Apapa-led faction of working in tandem with the All Progressive Congress to destabilize it and frustrate the ongoing efforts at the party's election petition before various tribunals. Just last week, Lamidi Apapa was accused of attempts at withdrawing petitions lodged at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal by the party's presidential candidate, Peter Obi. Well, we have Lamidi Apapa here with us in the studio. I want to say thank you very much for joining us here on Newsday. The news has been making the rounds, and we would like you to clarify in simple terms. Did you attempt to withdraw the petitions filed at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal? Yes or no?
No attempt has been made at all to write any withdrawal letter of the petitions before the tribunal. And it is not even reasonable for anyone to have had such an idea that for somebody who has built a house, we decide to destroy that same house. I think it's highly unreasonable for anybody to have that type of opinion. I have never done so, and I will never do so.
Noted, Mr. Papa. Now, just wondering how you think that these allegations sprung up. We understand that that this is being attributed by, for instance, the acting national publicity secretary of your party is attributing this to external saboteurs. Just wondering how you think all these allegations surfaced.
Pardon me.
Did you hear me?
I can't hear you properly.
Okay. Mr. Papa, I'm asking.
I can't hear you properly.
Can you hear me now, please?
Yes, go ahead.
Great. I'm asking how you think that these allegations surfaced. For instance, we understand that the acting national publicity secretary of your party is saying this is the work of external saboteurs. Do you stand with him, or is there more depth to this?
yeah, I'm right with you, bro. Yeah,
I
you
told
say
you
well.
I've never done anything like that. To withdraw this, tribunal something from any letter of withdrawal from the tribunal. We have never done so. I've said this several times, and I want the whole world to still know this, that we have never. And if anybody has any proof to show, please, that person is free to come forward and tell the whole world.
All right. There are also talks by the Julius Aburi faction of the Labour Party that at the moment that yourself and some other members of the party are moles within the party, so to speak, working for the APC under the guise of trying to advance the cause of Labour Party. How true is this?
That's not correct. I've said it times with one number that such an attitude is anti-party and is anti-progress. I've never done so. And I've told them, if anybody has a proof or evidence, let them come forward and tell the whole world if they have any. And they've not been able to bring any. If they don't have that evidence, should keep short and say other things to the whole world, not repeating what is unreasonable and what is absolutely nonsense.
Oh, Mr. Papa, we know your stance. You've made it very clear. But clearly there is some division, with the Labour Party regarding this matter. Just wondering what steps you might be taking towards a resolution.
Well, the leaders of the party, including our principal, the presidential candidate, is also working on it. We are expecting him to call a meeting. And once that meeting is called, we will sit down and resolve the matter.
All right, Mr. Papa, I also would like to find out from you because at the moment I know you are at loggerheads with Julius Abure at the moment. But talk to us. A lot of people would think that after so many gains that the Labour Party witnessed, wins, some would say at different points, understanding that the Labour Party were not really regarded, now became a third force. Some would have expected that the Labour Party would come together, try to build on the wins, and probably seek to strengthen in different areas. But what we've been getting are these squabbles upon squabbles, fights, bickering, and all sorts to divide the party as against unite the party. Can there be a middle ground whereby yourself, Julius Abure, both camps can meet and resolve this in the interest of the party?
Well, thank you very much. I've said it earlier on that our principal, the president candidate, is working on that. And we are expecting him to call both parties. We will talk. But the cause of the matter has nothing to do with the crisis, but it has something to do with criminality. The chairman of the party, the ex-chairman, was directed by the court, ordered by the court, not to parade himself as leader of the party, and 3 others, for alleged criminal offenses. And the whole world is not speaking to that. He's talking about somebody is using A or B, C, D. We should talk about the criminal aspects, not the aspect of looking excuses that the whole world will not consider as if he's a saint. So the point is that he has been alleged by a court, and they have asked him to step aside. He should step aside and face the court charges against him, not looking for excuses or trying to incite people against us. All we said was that since you have been asked to step aside, face your charges, and when you are lucky to come back, you come back and take your positions. And when you are unfortunate, then the law take its course. I don't know why he keeps on just parability, giving excuses, inciting people, blackmailing us unnecessarily. That's the point I'm raising. He should come out, defend all the charges against him. And it's simple. It is not a difficulty. His own is not the first in Nigeria. But because I want to tell you that nobody is above the law. If he wants to do that, then he should face the charges. And that's not more than that. There is no crisis in the party. The point is that he is the chairman, he has deputy, and it is clearly stated in the constitution that for whatever reason, if the chairman is unable to please all, then the deputy chairman will take over in acting capacity. It does not require long story. It does not require long grammar. I can even demonstrate to you, deputy means or somebody in acting capacity. If you fail to do certain things at a particular time, somebody will do it on your behalf. And when you come back to normalcy, then you take over your job. I wonder why instead of stepping aside, he keeps on giving excuses, blackmailing us, and so on and so forth. I'm very sure the whole world will soon know who is telling lies among us.
Oh, duly noted, Mr. Papa.
This is serious, so guys.
And I'd just like to expand this conversation beyond this issue of criminality.
Very deep
using your words. We understand, not too long ago, I think yesterday, the outgoing president, Muhammadu Buhari, attributed the outcome of the elections in terms of your party's loss as well as the PDP to basically overconfidence, bad tactical decisions and complacency. Just wondering how that came across to you.
I can't hear you properly.
Mr. Papa, can you hear me, please?
Repeat. Yeah.
Okay, great.
I can hear you now.
Thank you. Now, I was asking, I'd like to expand this conversation. The current president, President Muhammadu Buhari, attributed the outcome of the just concluded elections in terms of your loss and PDP's loss to overconfidence, complacency, and also bad tactical decisions. I'm wondering how that came across to you.
Well, that is a president has his own opinion, and everybody is at liberty with his own opinion. That may not be in our own case. Nobody that is contesting. We have the confidence that he's bound to win. Everybody is making a trial. So it's not because of complacency. Everybody is trying to do his best, and we have done our best. Our best, maybe this time around, is not the best, but we are still planning to do more in the nearest future.
All right, Mr. Apapa, let me find out from you. They say there are reports out there that the underlying reason or the underlying currents that is literally fueling this crisis has to do with monies that were to be shared. How true is that? One. And secondly, I would like to find out what is the fate of those who contested in the primaries in Imo, Kogi states and Bayelsa states. Because if you say Julius Abure is not the chairman of the Labour Party, primaries were conducted in these states, what becomes of those candidates? Let's hear from you.
Well, the issue of whether it is money that created problem, I'm not aware of that. Nobody has ever reported to the whole world that we have money crisis. Or issue of sharing money is our problem. It is not. We are talking about criminality. And that is what we have at the moment. The issue of what happened to our candidates in Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa states, we have done the screening, we have done the primaries, and candidates have emerged. We have submitted their names to the Inec at our own level. We have done that, and very soon they will have their names on Inec portal.
The reason why I ask this question is that the National Youth leader, Ragbe Anslem, has said that primaries conducted by Julius Abure is illegal, null, and void.
Yes, that's correct.
If that's correct,
If that's correct, is that?
But okay, if that's correct, you said that you've done primaries and you've submitted names to INEC, and you're saying that at the moment those primaries are null, and void, and illegal. Which is which?
Yes, I said anybody who fails to do his primary with us has taken the risk, and he has done that at his own peril. Because anything Aburi signs after they have been asked by the court to step aside is illegal. And everybody regards him as his own leader at that period is doing that at his own risk. That's why I say whatever you do in his name is null and void.
Duly noted. Labour Party faction act.
Okay, guys, that is it for today. So join us when we bring a new update, a new story. So till then, God bless you and God bless your way. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye from Timo Starboy Reality Talk TV. Bye bye. See you again. Mwah. Mwah. Love you.